Okay, I'm here now with Kyle O. So Kyle, tell us, how are you connected with Amboy and the car show and everything?
Okay, so my dad is the one who bought the town in 2005. This is our first car show we've ever attempted to do since 2005, so we're really excited to get it going. We had a lot of nerves building up, bringing people out to the middle of nowhere. Sometimes you're kind of worried, is anybody going to even make it? 2 months ago we only had 7 cars pre-registered, and by the time the show was starting, we had over 90 registered, and then eventually we ended up having over 175 cars. So I think it was a pretty good success for our first time.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Okay, so what made you guys think to have a car show?
Well, I think it's perfect place to do a car show. I'm surprised we didn't do it any sooner. But just it's such a resemblance of what Amboy represents. On Route 66, being out in the middle of nowhere in pretty much a ghost town with nothing but some googie architecture, right? So especially with the 100-year anniversary coming up, having classic cars, muscle cars, it's just like, it's a perfect spot for it,
Right.
And so we plan to do a lot more in the future, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh, well, that's good, but I agree, this is a perfect spot for it. And so are you involved in showing cars yourself, or?
You know what? It's funny. I brought a Tesla here, and so I'm the only electric vehicle besides the Rivian truck. So we high fived, and so a little bit past my time, but I enjoy it, and it's like the cars here, man. Some of them are amazing, amazing.
Okay, all right. And so now you said your dad bought the town. So your dad is the founder of a Juan Pollo. Is that
Pollo.
it? Juan Pollo.
Yes,
Okay.
so he started in 1984. He worked fast food all his life. Ray Kroc was his hero. McDonald's, the franchise model, grew up in the 50s and 60s when fast food chains were blowing up. So that was part of his childhood. So working there for many decades, he realized in the 80s, well, hey, I kind of want to, I want to own my own restaurant. I don't want to just keep working up a corporate ladder of an already established chain. He worked in Del Taco and Burger King. And so in the 80s, chicken was getting a lot more popular because people were saying that it's a lot more healthier than beef. So a big chicken craze went on. A lot of restaurants opening charbroiled and rotisserie. So he kind of jumped on board with that idea. My uncle-in-law is the one who actually gave him kind of a tips. Hey, you should be doing Mexican rotisserie style. I'll teach you how to do it. He's from Chihuahua, Mexico.
Oh, really?
And so we get that question a lot. A Japanese American founder of a Mexican rotisserie chain. For some people, it's hard to believe. He said, "Well, I'm American, and in America, you can choose to be whoever you want to be."
Oh, true.
So 40 years later, we just celebrated our 40th anniversary last year.
Wow, great.
And I really wish he was here to be a part of it. He fortunately passed away 1 year prior to the 40th anniversary. So even stuff like this car show, I think this is something that he really visioned that would be a place that Amboy would be perfect for. He loved cars, and I really wish he could have been a part of it. I hope he's looking down and saying like, "Hey, son, you're doing it." And I'm still continuing to do it in his honor and his legacy. And
That's
so
wonderful.
you just have to continue going. That's
Right,
life.
right. Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, are you involved in any of the day-to-day operations of Amboy, or how are you involved with Amboy?
Okay, so when my dad decided to buy the town in 2005, I was 12 years old, and so I didn't understand the importance or even the meaning of why you would say buy a town. I still remember that day very clearly. He comes into the room, I'm on the computer, and he says, "Hey, Kyle, I'm gonna buy a town." And as a 12-year-old, I was like, "What do you mean? I didn't even know that was possible." He said, "I'm gonna buy a town, Kyle. It's called Amboy. It's in the middle of the desert." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, who else do you know owns a town?" And the simple answer of that, just as a kid, I very much understood where my dad was coming from. My dad wasn't somebody, let's say, that needed everything to be crossed I's or dotted I's, crossed T's. He was someone who stepped out of the box.
Oh, really? That's
Very
cool.
much so, and he always loved to jump on opportunities, even though it seemed senseless at some times. I remember he was criticized by everybody, including our own family, his business colleagues, but that's how my dad was. He saw an opportunity and he jumped straight on it. Fast forward 2019, I've been working in the office, the corporate office for his restaurants, mostly doing marketing since 2016. I said, "Hey, Dad, I'll apply the same skills that I'm doing with the restaurants, and I'll help to help Amboy out. And so that's how I got slowly started getting sucked in the business. I was doing a lot of the marketing and setting up their websites, their social media pages, setting up contracts for companies to want to do movie shoots here and music videos and commercial work. And then I slowly get sucked into more and more of the projects that were needing of me here to manage this place. And pretty soon after, a couple years later, I'm managing the whole place.
Wow.
And so from a day-to-day opportunity, I'm not here per se every day. I live out in, just moved out to the OC, so I'm kind of about 2.5, 3 hours away. And so I really got to give credit to my managers here, Ken and Nicole, for keeping this place alive. They live in the nearest town over, 29 Palms, hour drive every single day to come to this place. And they're really the heart of this place because they're here every single day. And I get to talk to them every single day, and it's just been truly a blessing, the projects we've been able to work on together. And even them, they knew my dad for a very short period of time, and even then they could see just in that time how what type of person my dad was. It's just amazing that they get to be a part of continuing that legacy, and that's why things like this car show is extremely exciting for me because we've been spending the last 5 years on all kinds of restoration projects, fighting ourselves. It's just constant struggles and setbacks. These are the things that we really wanted to get to. These are the things that my dad didn't get to experience here. We've been fixing the plumbing, fixing the electrical, fixing the septic system, figuring out the water situations, and getting everything tuned up so that we can finally get these cottages open. Everybody wants to see the cafe reopen, retro diner, middle of nowhere retro diner along with the gas station. We're one of the only places I think here, especially in California, that still pump your gas for you. We got old style 70s refurbished mechanical pumps, turnkey, as to get all part of that experience to give. And we meet people all over the world, and every single person gives their own account of what they think, why Amboy is important to them. People come from all over the globe just to see this small place in the middle of nowhere, and it's fascinating when you see the light in their eyes and the reasons why they appreciate a place like this. Something that someone was asking me is, well, now that your dad isn't here, it was your guys' passion project together. How do you continue on with that same level of drive to want to continue with his destiny into restoring this place? And what I told people is that in these last few years, I've come to realize that this town is so much bigger than my dad's legacy. It's so much bigger than me and my dad's personal relationship and our personal reasons why we want to get this town restored as well. I realized in the last few years that this town is so much bigger than us. And you see it from every single person you meet coming here. And I realized I got to continue it, if not for my dad, for them. And so that's what gets me the excitement. And this car show is a reflection of it. We've only been promoting it for 2 months, and you see hundreds of people here. This is just the beginning. And we're so extremely excited for the future.
Great, that is great. Well, Kyle, I wish you the best. Your excitement is infectious. And yes, when I talked to Ken, he did say, the town manager, he said this is a place he loves to come to work, and so then it's really good. And then, he comes a distance too, So, it's really good to see all of that excitement and the vision for this town, because things like this can just get lost by the wayside, but you're helping keep a very part of American history alive. So great. Do you have anything else you want to tell us about the town or anything?
Let's see. Besides, next year we got the 100th year anniversary of Route 66, and so we've been telling everybody that we're trying to get at least the cottages or the cafe open by next year.
Oh, okay.
Not both. I know it's a big project, but I mean that's what everybody's looking towards. I mean we've been telling people that for years and years. Now we're finally getting to a place where I think it can be done, and so that's going to be our biggest goal. So stay tuned, because I think that next year we're going to see a big resurgence in Route 66 travel and tourism.
All right, that's great. And so, hey, if you haven't been to Amboy, you need to make your way over here. Hey, it's worth the drive. It's worth the drive. Hey, people come from other countries to come this way. All right, so so make your way over here. Okay, well, thanks a lot, Kyle.
Thank you.